Chapter 20. Nestled on the sofa in between Mum and Grandad, I stare at the TV screen. The picture is frozen, showing a blank blue screen as Haley talks on the phone to Mission Control. I glance over at the clock on the wall. It's just past 8. Time for Dad to set off on his spacewalk to the Lux Eterna launch platform. My birthday cards are all lined up on the mantelpiece, but I'm saving opening my presents until Dad has completed his mission. Charlie bounces up and down on Mum's knee. "Where's Daddy?" she asks, for what seems like the millionth time. "He'll be there soon," Mum says, tilting her head towards mine with a smile and giving my hand a reassuring squeeze. "There's nothing to worry about." She was so mad at me when she got back home yesterday, but then Grandad said I'd been worrying so much about Dad's spacewalk that the live link had got too much for me, and that's why I'd run out at school. Mum calmed down a bit after that, telling me there was no need to worry. She said that Dad has been training for this mission for years, and he knows exactly what to do. I glanced down at my silent mobile, the phone still switched off. I wish I could switch off too. Then Charlie screams excitedly as the blue screen disappears, and is replaced with what looks like a handwritten sign. The picture is slightly blurry at first. As this shifts into focus, I can read the words written there. "Happy birthday, Jamie." The world is watching Dad's every move on this mega important mission, but he's still found time to show he's thinking of me. My fingers tighten around my mobile phone. Right now I just wish I could call Dad and take back what I said yesterday, but I don't think he's free to pick up the phone. On the sofa, Mum gives me a hug, then Dad's astronaut gloves lifts the sign out of shot, and we all gasp at the darkness of space that fills the screen. It's the blackest black I've ever seen, the inky darkness studded with thousands of stars, and in the centre of the TV screen I can see the silver outline of the Lux Eterna launch platform, its spiral of petal-like panels facing out into the void. Dad's voice crackles out of the TV speakers. "Mission Control, this is Commander Drake. I'm clear of the ISS now and have visual on the Lux Eterna platform. Request permission to engage the AMMU propulsion system to begin my ascent to its orbit." With a burst of static, we hear Mission Control's reply on the radio. "Copy that, Dan. Please ensure the light swarm probes are safely stowed before engaging propulsion system." The picture on the screen shifts as Dad looks down, and his helmet cam shows the square silver case that's strapped to his spacesuit. Inside this are the light swarm probes, all ready to begin their 108 trillion kilometre journey to Tau Ceti. "All present and correct," Dad says, a slight buzz on his words as they echo across space. "I just hope we get some air miles with these probes as they're taking a pretty big trip." Next to me, Mum laughs at Dad's cheesy joke. Then I hear the smile in the voice of Mission Control's reply. "Negative, Dan. No air miles, but they'll be flying first class with your help. Permission granted to engage propulsion system." Engaging primary thrusters. The picture on the screen bobs slightly as we hear the whoosh of the propulsion system. At first I don't think it can be working properly, as the distant shape of the launch platform remains fixed in the centre of the TV screen. But then I realise as the seconds tick by that this is growing ever so slightly larger against the background of stars. This change is so gradual that it feels to me like Dad is almost frozen in space, but then the spiral panels start to glint as the launch platform moves into sunlight, and I can tell that Dad is closer now. In the background I can hear a strange humming sound. I look down at my mobile phone, but it's still switched off. I've got enough to worry about at the moment without buzz piping up. But the buzzing noise from the TV is now a constant drone as Dad's helmet tilts and I see for the first time the sleek silver module at the base of the launch platform, Dad's final destination. I glance across at Haley, who's standing watching with a look of concentration on her face. "What's that buzzing noise?" I ask her. Haley smiles reassuringly. "That's just the sound of the fans circulating oxygen through your dad's suit. Don't worry, Jamie. Everything's going to plan." "That's a relief," says Grandad, fiddling with his ear. "I thought this hearing aid was playing up again." Then Dad's voice crackles over the radio. "I've got visual on the Hab Zone airlock. Estimated rendezvous in approximately 12 minutes. "Copy that, Dan. All systems diagnostics are green. Looking good for rendezvous." I can see the circular airlock at the end of the Hab Zone module, its porthole windows staring back at me like a tiny silver face, surrounded by a darkness of space. Mum's holding my hand tightly now, Charlie sitting absolutely still on her knee. As we listen to the sound of Dad's breathing over the radio and watch the Lux Eterna launch platform slowly fill the screen, we all stare at the TV, spellbound. Once Dad gets inside the launch platform module, He'll perform the final checks on the light swarm probes. Each tiny spacecraft will be slid into the delivery system that will propel them into position, ready for Dad to press the button that will fire the Lux Eterna laser and launch them to the stars. Dad's voice comes over the radio again. Rendezvous in 5 minutes. He's closing in on the airlock now, the petal-like shapes of the launch platform's solar panels disappearing from view as the Habzone module fills the screen entirely. I catch a glimpse of Dad's face reflected in its silvery surface, his astronaut's helmet framed by the blue of the world below. My heart thumps in my chest. Dad's on top of the world. I feel so proud. His voice crackles out of the speaker again. Engaging retro thrusters. I hear another whooshing sound. 2 quick blasts followed by a softer swooshing noise, the picture on the screen tilting as Dad's spacesuit brakes kick in to slow his approach. But as the airlock door fills the screen, the voice of Mission Control crackles from the speaker. Mission abort! Repeat! Mission abort! Initiate emergency protocols for shouting event of systems failure. Charlie turns towards Mum with a puzzled frown. What's emergency? From the TV speaker comes a burst of static, and then we hear Dad's reply. Everything's fine here. Dad's breathing sounds slightly laboured as he reaches out to turn the airlock handle. All systems normal, Mission Control. Can you elaborate? Urgent warning received from the Space Weather Center in Colorado. They're reporting an X-class solar flare heading straight towards the Earth. The voice of Mission Control usually sounds so calm, but as these words echo across space, I'm sure I can hear a note of panic. I look across to Haley for reassurance, but all the colour seems to have suddenly drained from her face as she stares at the TV screen. Dad is now trying to open the airlock's hatch, his bulky astronaut gloves grappling with the release handle. Do we have an ETA on the solar flare? He asks, grunting out the words as he turns the handle clockwise. Negative, the NASA ACE satellite has been completely destroyed by the flare. You need to get inside the Habzone, now! What's going on? Mum says, casting a panicked look in Haley's direction as Charlie fidgets on her lap. It's a solar storm, Haley replies, her gaze still fixed to the television. A bad one. An X-class solar flare is an eruption of superheated particles from the sun's upper atmosphere, travelling towards Earth at almost the speed of light. I grip my mobile phone tightly in my hand. Buzz said there was a storm coming, but I didn't listen. On the TV screen, the airlock hatch starts to swing open. Copy that, Mission Control. Initiating emergency. And then the picture freezes. Dad's voice suddenly silenced and replaced with a dead dial tone. Charlie wails. Where's Daddy? As Mum hugs her tight, I turn towards Haley, our family liaison now frantically tapping at her mobile phone. Dad's going to be okay, I say, raising my voice above the sound of Charlie's crying. He can just take shelter from until the storm passes, can't he? Haley looks up from her phone, her features set in a tight-lipped smile that doesn't fool me at all. That's what Mission Control is telling to do. Your Dad will follow emergency protocols until the impact of the solar flare is known. I'm sure everything will be okay, Grandad says, resting his hand on my shoulder. Your Dad's trained for situations like this. I look up at the TV screen, its frozen picture still showing the airlock door starting to open, but with Dad stuck outside in the vacuum of space. I remember exactly what he said when Aaron asked him his stupid question yesterday. Space is a dangerous place. Then the frozen image starts to break up, disintegrating into an avalanche of pixels, before being replaced with a blank blue screen. I feel a wave of nausea rising up in my throat, my stomach tumbling over and over as though I'm the one falling through space. Shaking Grandad's hand from my shoulder, I push myself up off the sofa. I feel sick. I need to get some fresh air. Resting my thumb against the power button on my phone, I head for the door. Behind me I can hear Haley talking to Mission Control, while Mum tries to comfort Charlie. Running through the kitchen, I push the back door open. Bright sunlight hitting my face as I step out into the garden. Fighting to keep my breakfast down, I feel my phone vibrating in my hand. On the mobile screen, the golden spiral spins, and I hear Buzz's voice rise into the cloudless sky. The storm is here. A shiver runs down my spine. How do you know? I ask, holding the phone up as I stare at the sky. The sun looks just the same as it does every day. No sign of any solar storm, just gentle warmth shining down on my face. Your eyes only see a tiny fraction of the true light from your star, Buzz replies. Less than 1,000th of 1% of the full spectrum of rays that shine down on your planet every day. but we are the hive, and we can see all the brightness that surrounds you. On the screen of my phone, a picture of the sky above me appears. The yellow-white sun suspended in a bright blue sky. But then I gasp as the sky of the screen suddenly comes alive with a kaleidoscope of colours. I say crimson and green streaks shooting in every direction, spirals of pink and orange eddying across the horizon. Purple halos spot the screen of these colours as these colours twist into strange new shapes. It's like when you rub your eyes when they're closed, colours bursting across my vision, but my eyes are wide open now. The sky is ablaze, burning with a rainbow of fire. It looks like a video I saw of those strange lights that they get in the sky near the North Pole, the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights, but those only come out at night, and as I lift my eyes from the phone, all I can see is broad daylight. What is this? I murmur, my brain unable to process what Buzz is showing me on the screen. A solar flare erupted from your star with a force equal to 1 billion nuclear explosions. Its superheated particles are hitting your planet's atmosphere, each photon of light giving off a unique colour as the storm heats the sky. On the screen, the colours dance and swirl, so beautiful in their fury, as an icy cold fear grips my heart. But my dad's up there. The sound of a shriek from inside the house spins me round. It sounds like a wild animal caught in a trap. But then I hear Mum's voice screaming out a single word. No!